From a distance, I thought I was staring at a monster. Up close, I realized it was actually a sheep trapped beneath years of neglect, carrying an 80-pound fleece so thick it completely covered his eyes. What happened after I tried to free him is something I'll never forget. I still remember the moment someone quietly whispered, "It's moving, but what is it?" From where I stood, I could see everyone staring toward a strange shape in the distance. The closer we walked, the more unbelievable it became. Whatever it was had clearly survived out there for an incredibly long time, perhaps 5 years or even longer, completely alone. It had somehow stayed alive in conditions that seemed impossible to explain, yet nothing prepared me for what I saw when we finally reached it. He wasn't some mysterious wild creature at all. He was a sheep, or rather, he had once been. His fleece had grown so enormously thick that it completely covered his eyes. He couldn't even see where he was walking anymore. Every step must have been nothing more than a careful guess, or perhaps he had simply learned to live with constant discomfort and uncertainty. Someone beside me said softly, almost in disbelief, "I don't know how he survived, but somehow he did." Not long afterward, we received a call asking whether anyone could help rescue him. There wasn't much discussion. My answer came almost immediately. "Okay, we'll take him." Sometimes you don't need to know every detail before realizing a life deserves another chance. Years of neglect had turned it into a massive shell of tightly packed wool tangled with sticks, mud, leaves, and countless layers of debris collected from living outdoors season after season. Everything had compressed together into one unbelievably heavy coat. When we finally weighed everything he was carrying, the fleece alone tipped the scale at more than 80 pounds, nearly 36 kilograms. Just looking at that enormous weight made me feel exhausted for him. Removing all of his wool wasn't as simple as switching on a pair of clippers. We knew stripping it away too quickly could place his body under tremendous stress. At the same time, leaving the fleece on any longer would only put him in even greater danger. So we chose the safest approach and began as carefully as possible. Almost immediately, we realized the electric clippers couldn't even cut through the dense, compacted wool. We had no choice but to switch to hand scissors. Slowly, inch by inch, we worked through the tangled fleece. Nearly an hour passed before we could honestly say we were making meaningful progress. Throughout the entire process, something happened that I have never forgotten. He never tried to escape, not even once. Even though I could see fear in his body and the tension in every muscle, he remained perfectly still. Someone quietly whispered, "I think he knows we're helping him." Standing there, I found myself believing the very same thing. As we continued cutting away the enormous mass of wool, I slowly began to witness something remarkable. Piece by piece, the heavy fleece slid to the ground, and with every section we removed, his body seemed to change right in front of my eyes. It was almost as though he was rediscovering what it felt like to stand without an unbearable weight pressing down on him every waking moment. No one wanted to interrupt that silence. Someone gently said, "You're okay. It's all over now." Those simple words seemed to say everything we were all feeling. Then something beautiful happened. With each step forward, a little more confidence returned. His body seemed lighter. His movements became steadier. His head lifted just a little higher than before. That tiny change meant more than words could ever describe. Waiting nearby were two other sheep named Chloe and Melina. They remained calm and patient, quietly watching from a short distance without forcing an interaction. He noticed them almost immediately. He stopped. He looked at them. At first, he simply watched us from a distance. Then, without anyone asking or expecting it, he began standing a little closer whenever people were nearby. Day after day, he slowly learned that no one here intended to hurt him. His fear didn't disappear overnight. His trust wasn't instant. It was earned patiently through kindness that never demanded anything in return. One afternoon, while we were watching him explore his surroundings, someone smiled and said with genuine surprise, "He's really very intelligent." I couldn't help agreeing. I saw that intelligence shining clearly in his eyes. The very same eyes that, not long before, had been hidden beneath pounds of wool and unable to see the world at all, were now wide open, taking everything in. Every day brought another small lesson. He kept learning, he kept adapting, and little by little, he kept choosing to trust us just a little more. We eventually gave him a name, Baarack. Hearing that name spoken for the first time felt strangely important because he was no longer the mysterious shape hidden in the woods, no longer the animal people were afraid to approach. He was simply a sheep. Gentle, calm, curious, and finally living in a place where he belonged. Rescuing abandoned animals often requires patience, consistency, and an understanding of how long the recovery process can truly take. If you are considering helping a special needs animal, taking the time to learn about their physical and emotional care can make a lasting difference. And for those who love heartwarming rescue stories like Baarack's, there will always be more waiting to be told.